Let me guess. You keep getting ghosted on sales calls. You have an amazing conversation with your prospect. You thought this was going to be a deal. You're already counting the commissions off of it. Or if you're business owners, you're already counting the revenue from it. And then all of a sudden, not even 24 hours later, the prospect's no longer responding to you. You sent them the agreement and nothing. Crickets. So I see this happening over and over again, especially nowadays. There's so much noise in the market. But I see this happening a lot with sales reps, right? That are actually good at selling. They're not good at avoiding ghosts. They're not good at getting back in touch with their prospects, the ones that they actually had a good conversation with. So I'm gonna break down with you. So I'm gonna give you a couple quick tips, what you can use and keep in your mind mentally to make sure next time you have a good conversation with your prospect, whether you're a business owner or a sales rep, you give them a solid reason to show back up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Bosberg. I run RevenueGrowth.io. We're a sales agency. We build and manage sales teams and processes for 7-figure businesses, 7 and 8-figure businesses. And recently, I also started partnering with sales reps to build sales agencies in multiple different verticals. So if you want to make money with me as a partner, DM me, email me, anything, comment on here, and me or someone from our team will reach out to you. Aside from that, subscribe, like, share, all that good noise. Let's dive in. All right, let's break this down. How to never get ghosted again. If you're in sales, chances are you've been ghosted before, right? The sales call or the meeting goes great, and you're 1,000% confident that this deal is coming through, it's in the pipeline, only to find out a few days later, crickets. The prospect's not answering your calls anymore, your text, your email, any of that stuff. Now, before I get into this, right, a quick side note. Throughout your sales calls or your meetings, you will encounter a lot of ghosting and ignoring, right? Understand that you are still doing sales and constantly interrupt people's lives. So again, this is just a side note. Sometimes we tend to forget that people have lives outside of buying our service or product or whatever it is we're selling. As much as we want them to respond to us or get back to us, sign the agreement that they said they would, pay the invoice, etc., sometimes life can generally get in the way of doing that. Again, sometimes, but that's not what this video is about. But just understand occasionally it's just a logistical thing. Your prospect might have something come up. Now, first and foremost, you have to give your prospects a reason to show back up with you. So the first thing I want to go over is the law of obligation. Most salespeople treat their prospects just like another number, another lead, another sales call, right? And that's why they remain in the quote unquote most category, the average. The top producers that I've seen across many teams and regardless any vertical go above and beyond. So what you want to do is do some research and let them know that you actually give a fuck, right? And you do that by going above and beyond on your prospect before your first call with them. Go through their socials, go through their current business numbers. If you're selling B2B, spend 5 to 10 minutes doing a little bit of research on your prospect. This preparation, just 5-10 minutes, gives your prospects a reason to engage with you as they feel understood, they feel valued from the beginning. Again, all because of your 5 minutes of research. You have to almost create a scenario of obligation for them, right? And if they don't close on the first call, let them know the level of research you've put into your pitch or whatever it is you're selling just for them, and you'll present it on the second call. This sounds simple, and it is, but it will skyrocket the number of people that get back on calls with you after the first one doesn't close. Okay, give them a reason to show up. Make it almost an obligation. The only issue is you actually have to do some research on your prospects. Spend 5 to 10 minutes before the first call and even after it, right? Put something special together for them. Again, unfortunately, most salespeople won't even do their follow-ups, let alone go to this extent, but that's what separates the top 1%, I guess, right? The second thing is they're framed during the first call with you, right? The second determining factor in whether or not you get ghosted is the frame you as well as your prospect was in the first call. Now, quick side note on frames, this is basically perspective. You can check their previous life experience challenges through their socials, what perspective they were in. Now, the frame gives your prospect a reason to engage with you. A frame refers to what kind of perspective the prospect will be talking to you in, right? Also, what perspective will you be talking to the prospect in? Will they consider themselves above you, below you, or on the same level as you? Do they consider you an authority, an equal, or subordinate? Fun fact, if they consider you an authority during the sales call, they will show up to the second one. If they consider you an equal, it's a hit or miss. If they consider you a subordinate, like below them, they have no reason to fucking talk to you. right? Except you should be the one chasing them if they see you as a subordinate. So it's very important the frame you establish on the call. Your conversations should follow which frame the prospect is in. Now, again, like I mentioned, you always want to hold a authority frame during the first call. None of your prospects want to show back up to someone they don't consider an authority or above them in any sense. Okay. So your frame is very important. And then last but not least is the why. The frame aside, if you fail during your first call to find out your prospect's true why, their true desire, ghosting will become a norm, right? There was nothing valuable, nothing special that happened with them on the first call. First step to any sales call is to find out why the prospect is there in the first place. Your goal is to search for that main why. If you don't find out the real reasoning behind why a prospect is even remotely interested in what you have to offer, the rest of the process won't really matter, because chances are you're not going to close that deal. Not only will you not close that deal, they'll tell you what you want to hear just to get you off the phone or the Zoom, and then just not answer your shit, right? Not answer your fucking calls. Shift your focus to the prospect, get out of your head or anything else, and start searching for their why. You tackle these three, give them a law of obligation, reason to show up, make sure you're in the authority frame, you find out their true why, your ghosting numbers will decrease. All right. Hopefully you got some sauce out of this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.